when you're going to use the credibility checker, we start out here with the simple directions page, just talking about why it's important to have credible resources from the internet. There's a callback to the red flag, green flag system that was used in junior high, and we also see a link to the description of the CRAP method, which is kind of the a little more robust version of going through and checking out credibility. There's some simple directions here, and we're going to go through all of those to explain kind of how this works. So the first thing we have is actually just your template. And there's a handful of questions that's going to ask you and some pull down menus. All of these things are going to work to kind of walk you through the process of uh, checking the credibility of your source. So that's gonna be kind of what you have here, and you're just gonna make a copy of this by hitting this little chevron and coming up here to duplicate anytime you need to check a new source. I have the copy of source number one already done for you. You're welcome to rename this source number one to the name of the source if you'd like, if that's easier. But this is just a little organizational thing you can do. So here we have an example source. So what we have here is the URL linked in there, so we can click that and check it at any point in time. We have the name of the website and the title of the article or page, depending on what you're looking at. And then just some basic questions. The first thing is the question relevant? If you're going to say no to this, it's going to give you, a message. You should probably consider a different source. It, there really is no reason to be continuing on if you don't have a relevant topic. Being published in the last 5 years, we can see that there's not always a reason for it to be super current. If it's historical information or background information, it could be something that's a little bit older. If you're researching ancient Egypt for some reason. That is something that will be typically some older information. Then we get down to here, and this is kind of a um, real kind of start or stop point for you. Talking about what type of organization you have, and the reason we do this is because you're going to check the credibility in different ways for different organizations. So we have, a charity organization, government, research institution, news outlet, or just a general website. And depending on which one you choose, it will send you to kind of a different spot to check on the credibility. This is kind of where we kind of, it's your monopoly, do not pass go, do not pass, collect $200. If you say no, that this site is not credible, you should stop. Don't go any further. You're pretty much done. You don't have to continue on with this. It's over. Go find something else. If you say yes, then take some of that information and put some supporting evidence in. Then after that, we get to a little bit more. So we're looking at the credibility author. Is this author somebody that we should generally trust? Typically, if your site's credible, the author's probably going to be okay. But we'll have to see what those people are, and then is the information credible? Have they found this from, are there other sources here that are linked? So you have some sort of a background, so you can see some transparency in how everything was researched. And then the last part of this is just seeing kind of the purpose of the website. Is it something that's meant to inform, that's meant to entertain, that's meant to fundraise, that's meant to sell? Because all of those things are going to give a little bit of bias to what you're doing, and there's going to be a little bit of a spin on it. So all of this together is going to help you really kind of understand your source very well, and whether or not you should use that to continue on with your research. So this is really kind of pretty straightforward in terms of what we have. This example hopefully should help a lot of people. Um, going forward to this. And then again, when it's time for you to do your own work, you can go ahead, take your template, and go ahead and duplicate your template, rename it to whatever's appropriate for you, and you'll have your own room to work.